folks, and welcome to your outlet for outdoors and Western lifestyle, The Bend Show. I am your host, Rebecca Warner, a.k.a. Beck. As always, we love hearing from all of you. Your comments, stories, ideas. Get a hold of us anytime. Call or text 305-900-2363. Again, that's 305-900-2363. Or you can always email bendradioshow@gmail.com. Riding along shotgun, as always, my producer, sound engineer, and co-host, Jeff Tigger Earhart. And these days around our outfit, it is
chaos and pandemonium.
Exactly. Most folks
panic and desperation.
Most folks are packing up their RV and heading out on their first camping trip. Tigger and I are trying to, I don't know how we're surviving. We're burning the candle at both ends, literally.
It's been really a weird kind of a spring, hasn't it? It feels like we're behind on everything. And we haven't been, but it just feels like we're behind on spraying and fencing and everything.
I know, and then Tigger, I think, hates it because then I disappear to go and hit up every branding I can go do. So he's stuck doing all the fencing by himself.
Did you hear that, y'all? Great, and we have it now 100%. I'm the one who's fixing water gaps, who's wading across the stinky, stagnant water.
I'm on horseback getting text pictures.
Snake-infested.
Getting text pictures from Tigger showing another pair of water boots have holes in them. I think all three pairs that you own have holes in them.
You know, and you try to be really kind of delicate, and careful when you walk across and you've got, you know, those muck boots that come up to your knees, right? And you try to be real careful that you don't want to fill them up, and then just a little bit of water goes in there, you know, and it kind of gives you the willies. But then all of a sudden you realize that they leak, and then by that time you're just the heck with it, and you just start plowing through back and forth. That's all you can do.
So here's my next question for you, Tigger, because you've worn through all three pairs of your high water boots, your muck boots. Muck boot, not a sponsor yet. Are you going to start wearing your waders now? Are you going to give in, or are you like, no way, the barbed wire is not going near my waders?
I am not going to let the barbed wire near the waders.
So
I have to have at least one pair that is waterproof.
That means I got to go buy you another pair so that I can go ride horse.
Exactly.
All right. Our first topic today, crew, we want to talk about is other thing on the calendar. We are only 3 weeks away from Father's Day, and I thought I would bring this up to y'all so that you're not scrambling as it gets close to the finish line right before Father's Day, because guys, how often do you plan ahead?
I think it's only fair that we give the dads some attention, because everybody goes bonkers over Mother's Day, right?
Well, because it's Mother's, you better.
Day. I mean, you better. We get reminded of it in December. So, I mean, it just seems like the dads out there sometimes get the shaft where it's just like, hey, happy Father's Day, Dad. Yeah, thank you.
Well, yeah, exactly. And that's kind of what got me thinking when I was getting ready to come in and turn the radio on, start recording was, wow, dads, you do deserve more than the world's greatest coffee cup or the world's greatest dad t-shirt.
Ball cap.
So to kind of help you out, I got thinking about this, and with it being 3 weeks out, this is a great reminder. First off, what do guys like? Not all guys, but most. Fishing. So
yes.
What about getting a fishing trip planned now?
Oh, I like the idea of a trip.
Yes, and I'm talking, you don't have to go real far. I know everybody is pinching their pennies right now. Inflation is bad. But you can go in your own backyard. You'll be amazed if you start searching just local charter fishing guides in your area. You might be surprised that the guy down the street is actually a guide. You never know. I know we've had that happen with us. So another idea then is if it doesn't work for that weekend, you can still book a trip with a fishing guide, or get a voucher, and then you and your dad can plan a trip here this summer.
How about just booking the trip? How about just putting something on the calendar and saying, even if it's going down to your creek,
perfect.
Just carve it out and say, you know, other than the weather turning sour, we're going to take the afternoon off or the day off.
I like it because yes, I think the dads need just as much love and support as the moms do. Okay. Another idea.
My little watch said I need to try standing up and moving. It just went boot, boot.
Well, Tigger, when's the last time you stood up?
I don't know. I've been sitting here for a long time.
All right, here's another idea for y'all. Do a camp out. And if your dad is older, now's the time to quick try and book him in a cabin. But the rest of you all tented around him. It's all good.
I'm glad you brought that up, because we've been hearing more often than not that campsites are booking that all of these different parks are filling up, that you like have to book in advance?
Yes.
We've been hearing that even locally, that I don't know how this happened, that everybody's going crazy, but that people said, if you're trying to get a spot for 4th of July, good luck. I mean, if you're wanting something later in the summer, you better book it now, is what we're hearing from a lot of people.
Absolutely. Another one is golfing always is a good one. I like doing it with a bunch of family members because there's nothing better than pitting family members and teams against one another.
You just like driving the golf cart and drinking beer. I mean, don't even
say that on air?
Don't even get around it. That's what you like to do. You like to razz everybody and drink beer.
Well, then how about this? You're going to love the next idea I have, and that is to plan a brewery tour. And it doesn't have to just be breweries. You could do the distilleries. But talk about your dad. If you know your dad, he might get a kick out of that because this time of year in June, especially around Father's Day, a lot of these breweries, distilleries, and you could even do wineries if your dad's into that.
How about all three?
All three of them? Just, sometimes they say.
As long as Beck's not driving the golf cart on this one, we have somebody else driving.
How does it go? Liquor before beer, you're in the clear? Is that how the saying goes?
Beer before liquor, never sicker.
Yep, there
taking
you go.
Back to your high school days.
Right. No, we didn't do that in high school. Anyway, a lot of these different distilleries, breweries, wineries, they have live local music playing too outside, so it makes for a fun afternoon. And how often do you take the time to do something like that, even just for yourself?
We've never done that.
There you go. See, Tigger, we might be doing that. Another one out there for you.
As soon as I'm done fixing fence, Beck, I'll be able to take advantage of it.
Let me know when you're done on that fence, by the way. Here's another idea I had. Geocaching. Now, before you diss it, if you've not tried it, think about this. What little boy, when you were 8 years old, didn't like scavenger hunts? And technically, geocaching is just scavenger hunting for us adults.
This is really cool. I've got family members that do this. Never would have thought that they would have got into it and absolutely love it. Really, 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 really cool.
See, and here I thought you were going to give me a hard time on that one.
No, really cool. I think it's a great idea. You go hiking, you get moving, it's an adventure.
All right, I got one last idea, and that is to, build a project together. Think about if there's something that you've been wanting to build with your dad or need your dad's help with, because a lot of times I know the men in my life, they just want to be able to feel like their opinion is valued. They got to spend some time with you, or maybe there's a project they need fixed. But just think about it. If you build something together, then that might be something you inherit down the road, and you'll never forget that last project you made with your dad.
Can I add something to that?
Yes.
When you're done, put the tools away. Exactly the way that they were supposed to.
Why are you looking at me?
Because you're my co-host over here. I'm your co-host.
I was going to say.
We're co-hosting. I'm just saying that if you're helping Dad or whomever you're helping, put the tools back the way Dad wants them. Not that it turns into a train wreck building this little project.
All right, folks, we're going to take a short break. When we come back, we're talking about weather awareness. We're talking about tornado season, not letting it ruin your home or your travel. Stay where you are. The Ben Show will be back right after this.
Before you head to the next rodeo, a concert, maybe a gathering on or off the ranch, we head to Medora Boot and Western Wear.
Tigger and Beck here for Medora Boot and Western Wear. Latest Western fashion in boots, jackets, and hats.
From durable ranch wear to keeping the horses in sturdy tack, visit MedoraBoot.com to order.
Or better yet, plan to visit Medora, North Dakota and shop Medora Boot and Western Wear.
Again, go to MedoraBoot.com. You can follow on Facebook and tell them Tigger and Beck sent you.
Pro rodeo fans, watch the Cowboy Channel anytime, anywhere with PRCA on the Cowboy Channel Plus. Live stream the Cowboy Channel or watch your favorite PRCA rodeos on demand. Classic PRCA rodeos added weekly. Get the PRCA on the Cowboy Channel Plus for only $9.99 a month or save 25% by signing up for a full year. Visit CowboyChannelPlus.com to sign up and start streaming today.
This is Beck. First, I appreciate all of you for listening and making The Bend part of your week. Many of you have asked, how do I catch past episodes? The answer is super easy. Head to thebendshow.com and click on the shows tab. There you can listen to every episode all the way back to episode 1. Podcasters, head to your favorite podcasting app and search The Bend. You'll find us. Be sure to follow and subscribe and never miss another episode again. Welcome back, folks, to your outlet for outdoors and Western lifestyle, The Bend Show. I am your host, Rebecca Warner, a.k.a. Beck, and Ride Along Shotgun is always my co-host, Jeff Tigger Earhart. Now, before break, I said we were going to come back and talk about weather awareness, and that's exactly what we're going to do, especially this last week. If you haven't seen the news, tornadoes have been happening all over. You know what? I'm going to let Tigger jump into this first story.
This has been a crazy spring, hasn't it?
It
mean,
has.
crazy weather for people, but I think we say that all the time. Now, normally, like tornado season, and what we're referring to specifically is Greenfield, Iowa, that little town in Iowa on Tuesday night, I believe it was, or Tuesday afternoon. A little town in Iowa got completely obliterated by a tornado. So first and foremost, thoughts and prayers go out to those people. If you've got friends in that area, I know you've checked on them, but check on them again. If you would. But when it comes to tornadoes, kind of fascinating in a way, aren't they? I mean, I've chased tornadoes.
Well, I think that's part of us growing up in, I don't know, how would I say, rural settings is probably the best way to put it, because I always joke in another life I would have been a storm chaser.
A storm chaser,
Absolutely.
Yes, you would have. Now, Tornado Alley is that stretch of land between kind of Kansas and Oklahoma, known for its tornadoes. I lived there for a number of years, dealt with it. But have you heard of Dixie Alley?
No, I have not.
Dixie Alley is another area. It stretches Arkansas, Mississippi, Tennessee. These areas have weather conditions that are frequently they turn into tornadoes. Now, Dixie Alley, interestingly enough, has fewer tornadoes, but they tend to be a lot stronger tornadoes in that particular part of the country.
Wow, that's crazy. And it's amazing how we're bringing this up, because just the other night in bed, Tigger and I decided to turn on an old classic movie, Twister.
We were watching Twister, just a few days prior to when that tornado hit Iowa. I mean, hence probably why they were playing it this time of year, right?
Well, absolutely. And there is a Twister 2 movie hitting theaters in July this summer as well.
Is there really?
Yeah.
Is there another one that's coming up?
You got it.
Okay, the deadliest tornado was called the Tri-State Tornado. That happened March 18th, 1925. It was the deadliest in U.S. history. Killed 695 people in Missouri, Illinois, and Indiana. Injured more than 2,000, destroyed right around 15,000 homes. It tore a 219-mile-long path across Missouri. And so when we talk about weather safety, right, and to be aware of these things, and that's the crazy thing about tornadoes. Those people that live in tornado areas know exactly what I'm talking about. You know, you can a lot of times see that weather is coming in, right? I mean, it's getting bad.
Or if you don't see it, you can kind of feel the shift.
You can feel that it's changing. But what's so strange about tornadoes is they can just all of a sudden pop up out of nowhere, right? I mean, just absolutely pop up. And I'm going to take y'all back here to maybe when we were kids in grade school. Do you remember having the tornado drills in school?
Of course I do.
Okay, and what was the first thing that they said with the windows? Go and open them up.
Yes.
Okay, so I was wondering, is that still practiced today, these tornado drills, and the kids that sit, closest to the windows, you got to go open them? And the answer is no. Experts are saying, do not waste time trying to open the windows, and the theory to that is to try to equalize the pressure that happens when a tornado is close. They say, don't even waste time. I mean, if a tornado is that darn close, you need to go seek shelter in a basement or interior room. Don't even waste time trying to open windows to equalize pressure, because in a tornado, it's not going to make any bit of difference. So save yourself. Try to get safe. Go to the interior of the room.
So exactly what he's saying right there. Don't be staring at the window watching it.
And we all do that. I mean, we all do that, but no, don't do that. And here's the other thing that I mentioned, because I've lived in so many tornado areas, and our place, when I was a little kid, we got hit by a tornado. Mm-hmm. Blew through, hit our neighbors, blew their dairy barn down. The thing that I always tell people is make sure that, and we're all kind of good about this, but you've got that wallet beside your bed that has your ID and those types of things. But honestly have that thing ready, that if you do need to go seek shelter immediately, that you've got those essentials with you, which is your ID. Maybe you carry that Social Security card. Maybe you've got a little backpack, or, a lot of ladies, they have the little mini backpacks, right? Have that close and accessible, that if you do need to go seek shelter, you've got at least some of that identification. You've got something with you that proves who you are when you have to start rebuilding after something like this happens.
So what you're saying right there is really no different than when we were in grade school back in the day. And I don't know if they still do these tornado drills or not. I'm speculating probably in certain areas of the country where
they
there's
still
more.
Do. Yep, they still do.
Okay, but do a family tornado drill. What's it hurt? That way all the kids, yourselves, everyone's on the same page and understands what to do before the ship goes down, or that funnel cloud. Excuse me, I can't talk. Hits the ground. Don't be waiting until after the fact and wish I woulda, coulda, shoulda. Now, I have another topic. What happens when you're traveling? Have you thought about that one?
With tornadoes?
Yes. Have you thought about that one? And that was something that I never really thought about until recently. And Tigger and I, about a couple summers ago, we were visiting a campsite that I had not been to, and I never realized they had a tornado shelter. So here is what my suggestion is. If you're planning on going camping, doing some of those outdoor activities, you've rented even a small little cabin in you know how they have those little tiny cabins inside of campgrounds?
Oh, right. Yeah, they're super cool.
Make sure when you check in with the camp host, ask them, where is the tornado shelter at?
Now I remember the campsite we were at. They just redid it, right?
Yes.
Okay, now I remember. That is a great idea, because I guarantee it's going to happen to all of us at some point where we're going to have bad weather. It seems like it always happens, right? I mean, when you got that real hot day and then all of a sudden the weather turns sour and, really high winds. And
the last thing you want to be caught is in an area that's full of a lot of trees and you don't know where to go for
debris.
Shelter, or if it's down low and a lot of times rain comes after a tornado and there could be flooding that could happen. It's just good to know where is safety first, and that all the kids, everyone in your party, especially when you're traveling, that way they know that's kind of a rendezvous spot, right?
Now, a muster spot, yes. No, you talked about trees. That's one of the things experts say, is that when there is high winds, and obviously when there's tornadoes, it's the debris that is the scary part. So if you have to get to an area, try to get where there isn't a lot of debris. But interesting, I just looked this up here too. Now, tornadoes, they can happen anywhere in the world, but the majority of them, 75% of all tornadoes, happen in the United States.
I had no idea.
They do happen all over the world, but they happen right here in the United States. And this is a year, again, that it's kind of a wing dinger, but it seems like there's a bad one that happens every time tornado season comes around.
I really enjoyed this topic right here. I'm glad we dove into this one, because a lot of times it's an oversight, overlook until it's too late.
Exactly right. And again, I just want to mention, there are a lot of places, and I just said Greenfield, Iowa is one, but I know there's a lot of other places that have been hit by tornadoes this spring. So check in on friends and family, and just make sure that they're doing okay. And remember, keep those people devastated by bad weather in your thoughts and prayers.
We're going to take a short break. When we come back, we've got a few more ideas for Father's Day that you can still buy, and they're budget friendly, and you'll get them here in time for Father's Day. Stay where you are. The Ben Show will be back right after this.
Hey guys and gals, this is John Arman with Ultimate Outdoor Adventures TV. Ultimate Outdoor Adventures TV travels the back roads to the backwaters in pursuit of the ultimate adventure in hunting and fishing. Join Team UOA every week for exciting action in the crosshairs of the outdoors. Catch Ultimate Outdoor Adventures TV on YouTube, Amazon Prime, and make sure to follow Team UOA on Facebook and Instagram to share in the ultimate outdoor adventure.
You've waited, dreamt of a hunting adventure, and now have harvested that trophy of a lifetime. Keep the memory alive with a custom-designed mount, preserved as a work of art. Check out our approved taxidermist depending on your location. The award-winning Schneider Taxidermy is located in Helena, Montana. When hunting the Dakotas, JB's Wildlife Designs in Mandan, North Dakota, then Shadwin Creek Taxidermy in Nebraska, and for the Central USA, Little Rack Taxidermy in Macomb, Illinois. Reach out to The Ben Show and let us help you find the right taxidermist.
In the field, on the farm, or in the saddle, we're right there with you in your pocket, on your phone, and everywhere you go. RFD TV Now. Current ag reports, geo-targeted weather, live streaming 24/7, and our full collection of shows you love at the tip of your finger. At less than $10 a month, it's the cheapest tool on the farm. Download the app today and start watching RFD TV now.
Welcome back to your outlet for outdoors and Western lifestyle, The Ben Show. I'm your host, Rebecca Warner, a.k.a. Beck, and riding shotgun, as always, my co-host, Jeff Tigger Earhart. Now, first off, I want to give a special shout out to one of our listeners, Wanda. She's out in Blunt, South Dakota. If you're not familiar where Blunt, South Dakota is, it's a small town about 20 miles northeast of Pierre, South Dakota. Pierre is a approximately center of the state, wouldn't you say, Tigger?
Give or take, kind of.
Right along the Missouri River, right there. But anyway, yes, Wanda, she sent me a beautiful thank you card last year around this time. She had won a cookbook we were giving away, Kent Rollins.
Oh, that's
Comfort
right.
Food, The Cowboy Way. Yes. Anyway, she just wanted to say how much her and her husband have enjoyed using the book. So it's great to hear from you, Wanda, and that she's still been listening to the show.
Oh, so she's using the book and she's getting tooled up on her Dutch oven cooking. I think there's going to be cook-off in the future.
Oh, I would love that.
Wouldn't that be fun with some of our listeners that we just kind of got together and had kind of a big brouhaha?
Okay, we might have to be thinking about that.
We might have to be thinking about that, a
find
destination that we go and just kind of have a big party.
I would agree. I'm 2 thumbs up on that. And I said when we went to break that we'd be talking about some gift ideas for your dad, that in case you still want to just buy him something instead of, like we said, plan a little trip or spend a day together. Well, that one right there is a great gift option. The Kent Rollins, the Comfort Food, The Cowboy Way.
Cookbooks. Yeah,
the cookbook.
Go to his website. He's got all kinds of cool stuff on there.
Yeah, KentRollins.com, by the way, for that. And other ideas that crossed my mind. So we're going to see if this is a yay or nay in your book.
Okay.
Tigger.
All right.
First off, Tigger, I need to have your thumbs up or thumbs down on this idea. Hawaiian shirts with the family faces on them.
1,000%. Absolutely. 150%. I love the Hawaiian shirts. The crazier, the better.
I think this is the year of the Hawaiian shirts, by the way.
I was trying to get this thing going several years ago. I was not afraid to go to rummage sale and drop, 50 cents on a used shirt.
So do you even know how many Hawaiian shirts you own with cows on them?
Oh, my gosh. And I got to have every single one because I got to have every single breed and every single style. Did you know that you can even get these Hawaiian shirts now, or Hawaiian themed? Say if you are a John Deere fan, you can get with the John Deere logo on them. Massey Ferguson, Minneapolis Moline even has these. Case IH, all of them. Cat, you can get Ford, Chevy, Dodge, you can get everything.
And if Hawaiian shirts isn't your thing, by the way, the polos, by the way, for the golfers, we saw pheasants on them the other day.
That's true. Polos have kind of done this same thing, that they've gotten a little bit more eccentric, maybe is the right word.
I would agree.
I'm all for it. 100% thumbs up on this. Make Dad wear it.
So have some fun with the clothing is what we're saying.
Yep.
All right. Next one, of course, if you're in a store, you're traveling somewhere different, your dad's into cooking and he likes using the smoker, the wood chips with different infused flavors and such, those are always a good find.
Well, I never would have thought of that one. That's a great idea.
They're always a good, easy one.
That's a great idea.
But here's my most favorite one that I think you're going to be all for, and that is, as we're getting older and the technology has improved, find out if your dad is into the battery-operated yard tools yet. And if he's not...
Oh, so let's say he's got a bunch of DeWalt tools. DeWalt, not a sponsor yet. Or he's got a bunch of Milwaukee or something like that tools. I got you. I see where you're going with this.
Because even Tigger and I, we've converted ourselves down to not just the weed whacker, not just...
Weed whacker. Why do you say weed whacker all the time? Or do you call it a weed whipper? You don't even use the thing.
Because
a weed eater.
I'm one of those, if I use it, my hands swell up. I swear.
Oh, right. Every
I'm a
power tool
hazard.
makes your hands swell up. Okay.
It's not my fault. But no, seriously, the battery-operated tools are nothing like they used to be. They've really come a long ways. You got to admit.
Yes, they have. And we have almost everything is battery-operated, so everything's compatible with everything else. So you're talking about buying some extra batteries for that.
Yes, you can never have enough batteries.
I agree with that
And
wholeheartedly.
another idea, too, is even our chainsaw is battery
Our chainsaw
operated.
is.
And for the ladies, by the way, it seems a lot less scary using that battery operated chainsaw, for example, to trim your hedges than the gas ones.
That's the only tool that you like using in the shop is the chainsaw.
That's all for this week, folks. Remember, as always, keep sending in any questions you might have. If you have something spot-worthy for us to share, a recipe that we need to test out in our very own cabin kitchen or in the Dutch oven, as well as your area's field reports, that number, again, you can call or text anytime, 305-900-2363. Again, 305-900-2363, as well as email bendradioshow@gmail.com. And be sure to be tagging us on social media at The Bend Show while you're out on your adventures. If you missed part of this episode or want to hear past shows, you can find them all on the website, thebendshow.com. And be sure to subscribe on your favorite podcasting app and to The Ben Show YouTube channel. Thank you to our partners, Ditelli Outdoors, The Prairie Crocus, Medora Boot and Western Wear, Blue Water Girl Charters, Buckstorm, Little Rack Taxidermy, Mickey's Mustard, Atlas Tracks, RFD TV, and Wrangler. Finally, a big thanks to all of you listeners out there that came along. And whether you're coming or going today, stay with us as we ranch it up, and remember to keep up with me, Beck, all week long by following The Bend on Facebook and on Instagram at The Bend Show. This is Rebecca Warner. Catch Beck if you can next week on The Bend.